Hey everybody, Barrow's Main, also known as 27 Lightyears here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a high impact snare, or if you want to call it, the Prida snare. Now, I haven't used this in any of my released songs yet, but I have an example that I'm working on right here, so I'm going to let you guys hear the example. I have 8 high impact snares led into a nice dry bass and kick here, so I'm going to show you guys what the high impact snare sounds like. So that's what it sounded like. Let me go ahead, bring this over to where the snare is audible. And this is what it sounds like on its own. So that's the snare that I've created, and I'm going to show you guys how to recreate that snare. Now, there's a lot of variety that you can add to it. So here's how I made it. And I'm going to use this I'm going to make this snare using things that everybody should have in their default FL Studio. Now, first I'm going to grab a good snare. The snare that I used is in Legacy, Drums, Dance, and we're going to use DNC Snare 3. So let's go ahead and drag that into here. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drag the pitch down or up a bit. I brought mine down to -600 because that's where I think that it sounds best. But if you want to do it, -400 or, for the hell of it, -1200, it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to keep mine at -600. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to time stretch. We're going to go ahead and right click on there and select 2 beats. So that way this snare lasts for 2 beats. Alright. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do this middle knob here, time stretch multiplicator. I'll be completely honest, I'm not sure what this does, but what I do know is that it makes the snare longer without necessarily making it, a 1 bar or things like that. So I like to stretch it over to somewhere around the 132% range, as you can see in the top left corner over there. 130%, somewhere around there. I like to stretch it somewhere around there. So let's go ahead and do that. And now we have this. So now it has a good, nice amount of tail. And the reason I selected this is because it has a whole lot of white noise, as you can see in the top there. So that's what I like about using DNC Snare 3. It adds a lot of high end to it to make it just really stretch and just fill up the void. Now we're going to go ahead, launch it into a insert track here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to add in a Fruity Reverb. Now this part, you can do whatever you want, just make sure that the decay time is somewhere around 5-6 seconds. That's the important part. Otherwise, and the wet level, you can do it anywhere from 50% to 100%. I'm going to leave mine at somewhere around 80%, and you guys can do whatever you want with it. If you want to make it a small room, you want to make it a big room, you want to make it a triangle, you want to make it an icosahedron, go right ahead. Doesn't really matter. So after you got that, this is what it sounds like now. If you see on the wave candy here, it has a hell of a lot of tail to it, and that's exactly what we want. It'll just keep going and going. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add Fruity Compressor. And this part, again, you guys can do whatever you want with it. What I like to do is bring the threshold down a lot, roughly around 25 decibels. And I bring the ratio up to 1.5. Let's go ahead and put that there. And I make the attack a little, somewhere around 50 to 70 milliseconds. I'm going to leave it right there. And the release, I leave alone. And the type, you can do whatever you want with it. This is what it sounds like right now. And you're probably thinking, oh, well, it doesn't sound very high impact. That is where the gain knob comes in. So let's go ahead. This might get loud. Let's go ahead. Bring up the gain to whatever your heart oh so desires. If you want to, you can make the attack 0 so that it never peaks. I lied. I have no idea how compressors work. But that's the basic gist of it. That's the basic gist of making a high impact snare. And that is exactly the method that I use to make the high impact snare that I showed you in the song earlier. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you learned something out of this, because I sure didn't. And I will see you guys perhaps in the next tutorial. I might make another tutorial. I'll let you guys decide what you want me to do next. If you want me to show you guys how to make a sidetrance bass, that I'll do that. Anything else, just let me know in the comments. So thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.